Knowing your relationship attachment style will help you to avoid toxic relationships with narcissistically abusive people. Knowing and accepting your relationship attachment style will not only help you to avoid toxic relationships, but it will also allow you to accept your strengths and your weaknesses. It will help you to be able to live honestly with authenticity. It will help you to set boundaries within your life that are healthy. Ultimately, it will allow you to live stress-free when it comes to your relationships because you are avoiding toxic people for you. And it's for this reason that tonight, I invite you to take a short test with me. This test is going to help you to understand your relationship attachment style. My name is Kevin, and this is The Royal We. Now, before we take this attachment style test together, I want to let you know that I'm here to support you. Down in the description box, you'll find access for one-on-one appointments with me. In addition to that, I have a brand new coaching program where I coach every day, Monday through Friday. You can find out all this information down below in the description box. Now, before we take this test together, I think it's important that we understand something. The number one reason people get stuck in toxic relationships is because of a lack of honesty. I'm going to say this again. It's powerful. Say it with me. The number one reason people get stuck in toxic relationships with narcissistically abusive people is because of a lack of honesty. And this lack of honesty goes all the way around. I'm not just talking about the lack of honesty from narcissistic people. Yes, we know that they are dishonest. We know that they are some pathological liars. They will say anything they need to say to get what they want from you. Money, sex, whatever. But we cannot afford to go through this life just pointing at them. The only defense that you really have in this life is to be honest, to be authentic. And against your honesty, narcissistically abusive people don't stand a chance. You could take the biggest pathological liar out there. Your honesty will demand honesty from them. Because at the very least, no matter what they say, you can observe their reactions to your authenticity. You can observe their response to your honesty. And their reaction and their response will tell you everything you need to know to judge them and judge them harshly as to whether or not they are toxic or whether or not they are supportive. You could take the devil himself. And as long as you stand in your honesty and in your truth, the devil will flee. As it's written in the Bible, resist the devil and the devil flees. Resist means to stand in your honesty, to stand in your authenticity, to stand in your truth. You see, the devil requires compromise. That's the story of Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden. The devil got Eve to compromise. The devil got Adam to compromise. Narcissistically abusive people weasel their way into your life through compromise. There's a couple of challenges and reasons as to why we struggle with being honest and authentic. Reason number one is perhaps you were never given permission. You were raised to believe that you have to serve and you have to give and that your needs don't matter and you have to be agreeable and you have to be the nice guy or the nice girl and go along with whatever, right? Well, you are prime picking for the devil or for narcissistically abusive people to find compromise. That's reason number one. Reason number two is perhaps you don't truly know yourself. You've never taken the time to do a deep dive to understand your thoughts, your feelings, the reasons you view things certain ways, what your attachment style is, which is what makes these tests so important. And that's why I want to take this test with you so that you can at least start to understand and accept these things about yourself and immediately start to live with more honesty, more authenticity, and to be able to set boundaries within your life. Now, I chose this specific test for a reason that we're going to talk about later after you take the test with me. This test is only going to take you 5 minutes. It's absolutely free, doesn't cost a thing. All right? So if you head on down to the description box right now, you'll find it says test. Click on that link. You may have to put your name, or you can use initials and an email address, and it will give you the results. Now, I challenge you, when you get the results, to bring those results to this community. Post them in the description, not the description box, post them in the in the community comments and summarize the highlights along with maybe some of the bad things, the strengths and the weaknesses. Share it, because this is a way for you to start to articulate and to be proud of who you are. Are you ready? Let's take this test together right now and go. Hit pause on this video, take this test. And welcome back. I'm glad that you participated and are able to take this test. Now, there's a reason why I chose this specific test from this platform that I found. The reason is because this test highlights the strengths and the weaknesses of all the attachment styles. So there are 4 basic attachment styles that we are introduced to through this test and through other tests. The first is going to be the anxious attachment style. The second is going to be the avoidant, or the fearful avoidant. The third is going to be the avoidant, and the fourth is going to be the secure. The reason I chose this particular test is because what this test illustrates is that one's not better than the other. Some might hear things like, oh, the secure is where you want to be. Wrong. What you'll discover is that there are benefits, strengths, and weaknesses to each and every one of these attachment styles. It's not about comparing which attachment style is better. It's about understanding what your attachment style is, accepting that, loving the good parts about yourself, learning to love the bad parts about yourself, ultimately being able to put boundaries around these things so that you only engage with people who are supportive and are not going to be toxic for you based on your attachment style. I'm going to go ahead and read my attachment style and share with you my results. I took this test 3 times. The first time when I saw what I was like, nope, that's not me. So I took it again, same result, and I said, okay, I better read it. I happen to be a fearful avoidant. So let me go ahead and share with you what fearful avoidant says about me and how this is helping me in my life. You're a very high achiever who sets top standards for yourself. Yes, this is absolutely true. A bit of a workaholic with a strong drive, you are usually extremely focused on some aspect of your life, be it your work, fitness, or creative projects. Yes, yes, and triple yes. Already, I'm starting to really like this fearful avoidant guy or gal. This is my type of person. Because you can be so focused on achievement and value making impactful contributions, I love making impactful contributions, by the way, it's normal for you to spend a great deal of time outside of romantic relationships thriving on your own instead. This is important. I don't require a romantic relationship to thrive. I prefer to thrive on my own instead. I like romantic relationships, but I prefer to thrive on my own. At your core, you're an extremely compassionate, empathetic, and giving person with a strong desire for deep connection. This is so true. And this is what the Royal We is all about. And I get to have deep connections with hundreds of people, thousands of people all over the world. So this is absolutely true. I love what I do. Creating space for your friends, family, and romantic partners comes easy to you. You enjoy supporting them through their life challenges and get called a good listener quite often. I better be a good listener. I mean, this is what I do every day, all day, as I listen to people. When it comes to opening up and being vulnerable with them yourself, though, you are a lot more reserved. Having a deep-rooted fear that your loved ones might betray you at any time, you prefer to keep your walls up for safety. Ooh. So now we're getting into the uncomfortable parts about myself, which is also very true, by the way. Because you have such great capacity to feel for other people, and can become heavily involved with their emotions, you like to balance this out with lots of time and space on your own. This is key for me. I get this question a lot. Kevin, how do you deal with people all day, every day? How do you take so many phone calls? And I do. I cry with people. I take on emotions with people. And I balance this out with my self-time. I'm the type of person that needs my own space, whether it's going for a walk on my own or taking a long drive on my own. What I realize now after receiving this is that's my way of meditating. It's a form of meditation. So people may not realize this about me, but when I'm not working, I do spend a lot of alone time. It's a way of meditating and I guess shedding all the things that I bring in. So this is how it works together. It's important to understand this because somebody who doesn't understand a different type of attachment style, who doesn't understand my need for space, wouldn't like this, right? But it's a part of who I am, and it's a part of what comes with me being able to take on so much from people outside. Does this make sense? It makes sense to me. All right. So I like to balance my life out with lots of time and space on my own. You are also probably one of the most skilled people you know when it comes to reading people. You can't help but be hyper attuned to body language, micro expressions at any given moment, and are the first to notice when someone is a bit off. Yes. For those of you who have had one-on-one appointments with me, you know that I prefer video calls, and the reason is because I'm able to see so much more than what people are saying. In between the words, I can look at the expressions and the mannerisms, and I'm able to see when people are having a hard time articulating something that they need to articulate, or maybe they're hiding something, and it allows me the opportunity to help draw that out of them to help bring that much more healing. So yes, I do appreciate the ability to read micro expressions, as it says here, and just be able to read people in general. But like I said, this skill is very heavy. This is a typical empath skill, by the way, being able to bring in the energy just from watching people, right? Harmonious romantic relationships don't come easy to you. Now we're getting into the weakness here. Yours are usually passionate. True, I love passion, but emotionally volatile and overwhelming. If you're dating someone who likes their space, you may become anxious that they might betray or leave you. However, if you're dating someone who constantly tries to get too close, you get turned off and need to distance yourself. Love can feel like an exhausting dance. You step towards intimacy only to then step back because you feel smothered and need to regain your space. This can be incredibly painful for both you and your romantic partners, as depending on the relationship, your mental state can shift modes from I want you, come closer, to slow down, not that close. That's me. What I love about this attachment style test is that it nailed me to a T in a way that makes me feel good about who I am. If somebody were to have told me in the past, Kevin, you are an avoidant, you are a fearful avoidant, I would have said, no, I'm not afraid of anything. But when I read that description, yeah, wow, okay, that's me. Sure. I have no desire to be secure. I have no desire to be just avoidant. I have no desire to be anxious. I see how being a fearful avoidant, all those things play together to make me who I am. My need for space is what allows me to have the meditation time to dump and free myself and make myself available to take on more through one-on-one appointments. My empathic ability to read people allows me to take on a lot, right? So I appreciate that. And it's not about being down on myself for what this says. It's about owning and accepting it. And now I carry the burden to relate to anybody I deal with and to judge as to whether or not we will have a good relationship, a healthy relationship, or a toxic relationship based on who I am. I owe it to myself and to other people to be honest about who I am, honest and upfront about the space I need, my good and my bad. I'm glad that you were able to take this test with me. I hope that this has helped you out in some way to start to accept these powerful new things about yourself and to use these to stand tall, to be proud of yourself, and to move forward in this life, being that much more honest. As I said before, I'm here to support you. Down in the description box, you'll find access for one-on-one appointments. In addition to that, brand new coaching program. Head on down there. Get started if you need one-on-one time with me, and I'll be back with more videos for you right here on The Royal We. Here's a video that you can watch. Bye.